we had an interesting correlation in here between MicroStrategy and the overall markets today, where you had that nice kind of move higher throughout the whole day, besides the last half hour or so with the overall markets, and MicroStrategy basically kind of doing nothing until the market started to pull back on those little peaks and valleys throughout the day. And then that's when MicroStrategy decided, hey, guess what? Now we're going to trade with the market. So it was really a frustrating day in here for traders as we're kind of hovering around that 250. And then as soon as it looked like we were going to get a run, you had that drawdown in the market, and then MicroStrategy would pull back as well. And you're going, what the heck is going on? Can we just pick a lane here? What are we doing? Are we inverse correlation? Are we going to trade with the market? What's happening? And then finally, at the end of the day, that's when we had that nice close in here in MicroStrategy. You can see we're trading up at that 255 mark, where you had that overall market pullback, but then MicroStrategy just kind of shot through the roof there at the end of the day. So where does that kind of put us here on this weekly chart? We see in the past month and a half or so, we did break down out of this structure in here. So that lower trend line is now going to become our new resistance. So we're going to leave that on there. But our first and I guess major resistance that we're going to be looking at is going to be this 280 mark in here. That's going to be an area that we do need to kind of go up and long-term hit. Now we did get a nice little pullback in here for the past 5 weeks or so. You can see our RSI is basically down here in those low 30s again. So that is something we're keeping an eye on. Well, you can see your MACD as well. So it's looking like we might get a little recovery in here, and 280 is going to be our first stop on the upside. Now, if we can get above that, a nice breach and a hold, then we're looking at this 9-day EMA right here, currently trading at the 299.57. We're just going to say, hey, guess what? We're going to make it a nice even 300 level in here for us. That's a nice psych level for us. That is a nice number in here to kind of remember. So that's what we're looking at, 280 and then 300. On the downside, though, we had a lot of action as far as bouncing off supports right around that 248, 247 midday trading for the past couple days. So that's what we're looking at as far as our first support. Anything below there, we have a major support down here at those 231s. You can see that was a resistance for us back as far as last year, and it was also a nice support going into the end of last year as well. So that is what we're looking at for a major support. Anything below there, we're looking at this 173 or the 200 SMA, but I don't think we're going to get there anytime soon. Now, our IV did contract just a little bit in here today because you had that, it was basically a nothing move all day until the end of the day when you had that $5 rip into close. So your IV did contract. So now your expected move for Friday is only right around $10, going into next Friday right around 20, and the following that's going to be your monthly expiration. That's your following Friday is going to be that $27 expected move is baked in right now. So we'll see what happens as we continue throughout the week. We only got a couple more trading sessions in here, so we see how we're going to close this weekly candle, but we're going to see if we can get a nice push upwards in here on some volume back to those 280s, and we're going to see what is going to happen in here. But until then, it looks like it might just be kind of figuring out how we're going to trade first before we actually get any big moves. So is it going to go with the market, against what's going to happen? So kind of keep that in mind as we're going into open tomorrow. And then definitely we're going to keep an eye on that 280 level here long-term for a resistance downside, watching those 240s and or 247s and 248s. And then below there, that 231 area. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you are interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.